Jordan, what's up? You here to debate?
Yeah, how's it going? Yeah, I want to debate about communism versus capitalism.
Sure. Can I just get your age and pronouns, please?
I am 29 and he, am, I guess.
Okay. And go ahead.
Um, Private property is necessary because that is how wealth is created.
Why do we need wealth?
Wealth is important because that's as you grow as a society, that's how things are invented, and wealth creates that.
Why can't we invent things without wealth?
Capitalism and creates not just, I don't know the correct word, I guess. When there's competition, and that creates growth as a society. When you look at the Cold War, right, compared to the USSR and the US, who had better science? Who had more?
The USSR. They got there first.
What, the moon?
They got to space first. They beat us to space.
With a dog.
Doesn't matter. They beat us in the space race. They got to space first.
And then how long did they last? Are they
How
still
long did
around?
what last? The USSR. The USSR was
Yeah.
destroyed from the inside out by capitalist interference. So they don't last. How would a country last when capitalists cut them off from resources that they need through the rest of the world? Or how would the USSR last when they're getting shock therapy treatments done on their economy and destroying their economy and destroying their people's ability to feed themselves? Like, yeah, of course they didn't last.
Are you saying the reason why any communist country has never lasted because of capitalism?
Every socialist state or socialist experiment that has tried to exist post World War II has been destroyed by the United States, specifically the CIA, mostly under Henry Kissinger. Every single one.
So it's not because it's a failed system. It's because
if the system was so bad, the US would let it fail on its own, but it doesn't.
I guess there's no arguing with that, because I don't see that eye to eye at all.
Well, I can give you direct examples. We destroyed Chile. We destroyed Honduras. We destroyed Haiti. How many do you want? If you look at just U.S. interventions in Latin America alone, like we destroyed like tons of Latin American countries that tried to move to socialist regime, or I won't say regime, socialist experiments. You can, if you want to, you can look. There's a book called Killing Hope by William Blum, where he literally details every single CIA involvement post World War II. Also, chat. Sorry, yeah. First human in space was USSR. Yuri Gagarin. So yeah, they beat us in space. Yeah.
There's a big difference between socialism and communism.
Correct. Socialism would be communism with a state, basically. Like that's like the simplified version. And then after the dissolution of the state, we get communism. But the state can't dissolve if it's constantly fighting for its life against capitalists. Like how do you
in a perfect world where there's no anything else, you don't, if everybody thinks the same, if everybody acts the same, if everybody is put down to the exact same amount of wealth, in a textbook scenario, communism looks great. But the world doesn't work that way.
Why not?
Because humans are failed.
How so?
We're flawed.
How so?
Because humans are always going to be selfish.
Disagree.
Let's say.
Capitalism is what makes humans selfish. Humans don't have like some inherent nature to be selfish. Like that doesn't exist. Selfishness doesn't exist in nature, right? Selfishness would be a moral stance you're placing on humans.
Of course,
and we can look at when we
in nature.
No, it does not. Animals aren't selfish. That's not a thing. Selfish is an act you have to do
Survivalism.
willingly. No, that's not being selfish. That's instincts to survive. Selfishness is a moral. You're making a moral claim when you talk about selfishness. Selfishness is an action you willingly have to do. You have to willingly choose to be selfish. Animals can't willingly choose to be selfish. They don't have that capability of morality in that way. Only humans can. It's not a nature thing. And the only reason we have that morality is because we've been
Monkeys
socialized
do all
that
the
way.
time.
No, that wouldn't be called selfish. They do not have morality. Monkeys don't have a moral system. But when we talk about human greed, we can look at the fact that humans existed primarily socially in communal settings for thousands of years before capitalism even showed up. We were largely unselfish creatures up until the predominance of the feudal system, where like once the feudal system showed up, selfishness became like rampant. And then feudalism led to capitalism, which was where we're at now. Capitalism breeds selfishness. It's inherent to capitalism. You have to have selfishness for capitalism to work. It's inherent to the design of the economic system.
And that's why it's flawed.
Capitalism, yes. Like that's one of the reasons, but yeah, that's like 1,000%. It's flawed because selfishness is inherent to its design. In order to sell somebody something, you have to hoard it from them. So like companies selling you water, in order for them to sell you water, you have to stop the person from getting access to water in the first place. Otherwise, they're not going to buy your water.
No, but that's why the freedom of the market, instead of going to that person, you're going to go to the other person that's selling it cheaper. Or
buying it cheaper means somebody still has to hoard it from you, friend. The hoarding still exists. The hoarding of resources is necessary to capitalism, which is, in my opinion, immoral. It's unethical to hoard resources that are necessary to live.
Okay. You have a great rest of your day.
Bro, what?